Let me welcome you to the 40th lecture of NPTEL online certification course Surface Mining Technology. This is the second lecture on high wall mining. We are discussing with high wall mining since last class, and there will be 3 lectures on this. And in this lecture, we will discuss the high wall mining methods. But before that, just the way we do in every class, let us have look into the learning background required for surface mining technology course. Set learning objectives for surface mining technology course. Expected learning outcomes of surface mining technology course. And these are some text books and references the participants of surface mining technology course can follow. And before this lecture, we have already covered the phases of mining a deposit. We have covered the commencement of surface mining using through opening the box cut. We have covered the unit operations like drilling technology, blasting technology, and we have also covered the blast free technology like excavation by ripper. We have covered the material handling by shovel, that is the fragmented mass, and the transportation system possible with the surface mines along with the shovel dumper combinations. We have also covered the excavation by surface miner, that is the blast free technology, and excavation and direct casting of the material using the drag line. We are now continuing with the high wall mining. In last class, we introduced ourselves with the high wall mining, which is a new technology, and we have already covered one lecture. We have seen it is a basically excavation from the high wall without entering into the drive. So, it is a construction of the drive inside the high wall without entering into that drive, and the drive is self supported with the 2 wave pillars keeping in both the side. The high wall miner self propelled itself in the drive, cut the material. It is being pushed by the pusher beam from the back side with the high wall miner, which is stand outside the hole or outside the excavated area of the high wall, and after the completion of the desired length, the high wall miner is gradually withdrawn. So, it is similar in this case, either we will go for the excavation using a continuous miner type cutting head, or we can go for auger type of drilling. So, that we have seen in the last class that auger type that continuous miner type head and cutter head is provided, and that can be used very easily. The learning objective set for this high wall mining lectures: to understand what is high wall mining, to understand the purpose of high wall mining, and to understand the method of high wall mining. In this class, we will discuss the method of high wall mining, but before that let us understand that we are basically digging the high wall, that is not in the raise side, not in the rise side, not in the deep side. It is in the side of the mine on which the high walls are kept, and we are taking a part of that high wall that coal blocked by this high wall, so that there should not be any problem in the stability of the high wall, and that is the way it is carried out, so that the maximum excavation can be made out of that. Now, let us look into the other type of high wall, where the auger is basically used for excavation, this one. So, this is a auger drill. You can see the auger drill is basically cutting the high wall. So, as it is rotating, it is excavating the material, and on that the material is reverse flow in the reverse direction as the material is moving forward, and it is discharging the material onto the conveyor. So, basically as the moment the auger is opened, in that time the material is discharged below the auger and the material is taken by the conveyor. So, this is the other auger head which are attached back to the first auger, and by this way back to back augers are fitted, so that the auger can be pushed forward. So, this is the another auger is being placed in front of this. So, that it is similar to the attaching the drill rod. So, this is the first auger is now rotating here. So, this is the back side of the high wall miner, and this is the coal is being dumped. You can see how the auger is creating the hole. So, this is the auger is rotating, this is the discharge. Now, see this first auger is moved out, the second auger is now placed behind this. So, first auger is pushed, the second auger is now being placed and attached with the first auger. See, a crane is utilized for the same. Now, it is rotating. So, one side of the auger will fit with the first auger, and that is coupled there, and another side of the auger this will fixed with the rotary head of the machine. So, now it is positioned properly, and now it will be coupled. So, this will be coupled. So, you can see another video of this one. This the second auger is now placed and fixed. Now, auger has resumed cutting again. And see, now this is allowing the discharge of material into the chain conveyor. see how the coal is returning back along with the auger. So, conveyor is chain conveyor is placed behind the auger. So, now let us look into the mining method of the high wall mining. High wall mining can be carried out in 4 basic way, that is the contour mining of the outcrop seam, then high wall mining from trench, high wall mining in benches and high wall mining from surface mine. In this first case where there is no actual surface mining is carried out, but as the outcrop of the seam is available, high wall mining can be started directly from that. So, if you look into this, here it is understood that this is the outcrop, there is no actual mining carried out. So, this is a hilly terrain, this portion is the outcrop coal seam and the material is placed at this position to dig a hole and cut the material from this place, and this is the called contour mining, where the outcrop seam is only allowed to excavate. So, that is why this is direct mining without a surface mining, only the high wall mining is carried out, that is the high wall mining, that is also called contour mining, is standing at itself alone in this case. So, this is one method where the high wall mining is carried out, one method of operation. In the second method, instead of carrying out it one side, one trench is made, say both side seams are there, only one trench is made in the mid of this, and high wall miner is allowed to take hole in both the sides. So, this is in one direction, these are the different holes created, similarly these are the different holes can be created this side also. So, one trench is made and from the trench both side mining is carried out up to a significant depth, a significant length without excavating this one. So, this is called a trench mining, where the mine is accessed through the trench and from the trench high wall mining is carried out. So, it is basically if you are looking into the plan view, so these are the trench made, these are the trench made, and from this high wall mining is carried out. High wall mining is carried out up to a significant depth, and similarly another trench can be made at this position, or and another trench and at this position. From where the mining is carried out in this direction also. We can have both side excavation also, that is also possible. So, this is basically a high wall mining from trench, or this is also trench mining in which high wall is used, but it is understood that the percentage of excavation is significantly less in this case, but this is conserving the top features using this method. So, this is another method of excavation within high wall miner, but both the cases where the actual surface mining is not carried out, both are direct in situ excavation without any other additional excavation. So, for these two method, economic viability is very important, otherwise this method of mining cannot sustain. So, this economic viability has to be tested very importantly for both the cases. Now, this is high wall mining in benches. This method is carried out for a multiple seam, and the requirement is that these are the surface features to be protected. So, this surface features has to be protected, for that mining has to be carried out, and the procedure is little bit different in this case. This seam, every seam has to be excavated one by one, and the method of excavation is top down method. That means, this portion has to be excavated first, then this one, then this one. So, this will be the process of excavation in this case. So, that is why it is called a top down method. So, now let us look into this method one by one, how the steps will be carried out. So, in step 2, our job we will carry out, earlier it was like this. So, this portion, the overburden rock will take out using the drilling and blasting method. Now, after drilling and blasting, this overburden rock will be taken out and dumped somewhere else, and now this is showing that the coal seam is now exposed. So, now this coal seam is exposed. So, this is the first job or first step is carried out here. The next step is the excavation of the exposed coal seam. So, this exposed coal seam at this place is removed by the blasting or any other method. We can adopt surface miner also, whatever method of excavation is possible. This portion, all the coals are excavated using that one. The next step is that in the next step we have to deploy high wall miner at this position. So, in the next step we will deploy the high wall miner at this position, and we are now high wall miner is installed. Now, this high wall miner will excavate this one, and the excavation up to this is carried out by the high wall miner. So, what is our achievement? Our overburden excavation is this much, and coal excavation is now this much. So, this is the achievement for the first bench. So, this is coal is excavated in the top bench. Now, our next step is to take out the next one. So, we will take this much of material using drilling and blasting now in our next step. So, let us look into that. So, we will take out take out this one using the drilling and blasting, and in the following step we will take out this one using drilling and blasting or any other means, surface miner, etc. And after that we will again excavate up to this using high wall miner. So, we will install one high wall miner at this place, and this high wall miner will excavate this portion of rock. Now, next to this again we will move to this similar option. We will carry out excavation of this one overburden using drilling and blasting. Then we will excavate this one using drilling and blast or continuous surface miner. Then again we will deploy, install one high wall miner here, and we will excavate up to this. So, the step by step means whatever is carried out at this position, the similar steps will be followed for the next phases, and by this way our excavation sequences may be like this. So, this is step 1. This is so, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, this is step 4, this is step 5, this is step 6, step 7, step 8, step 9. So, you can see the same way we are doing, we are high wall miner excavating this one, then we are removing this overburden, this coal, then again we are installing high wall miner, taking out this one. After that we are moving it out, taking this part, and then again using the high wall miner to excavate this part. So, this is the sequence is made for excavation of this one, and high wall miner is placed first here to excavate this one, then here to excavate this seam, and finally, at this position to excavate this 3. And it is clear, despite this 3 seams, that is the multiple seams are excavated, but this is the structure which is steady enough and there is no stability issue on this structure. So, this is the benefit of this high wall mining, and that is why this is adopted wholeheartedly in this case. Now, the same thing is carried out for seam 3. So, after excavation of this one, this portion is excavated, then the high wall coal is excavated, then the high wall miner is placed at this position, then the high wall miner is excavating this one, then everything is withdrawn, the structure is stiff, but this seam 1, seam 2, seam 3, this all the 3 seams are excavated using this method. Now, this is the top down method, where a little bit mining at every level is carried out in little bit mining, but the majority portion is excavated using the high wall miner, and that is why the stability of the structure is not basically considered. Next, the last and final one, which is as a common method adopted in the surface mines, where the main purpose of mining is the surface mining in general which is carried out. However, high wall miner is basically deployed for increase the extraction ratio, or in other word you can say take the additional coals. So, that is why the major issues related to this is the stability and economic viability has to be considered. Often this is used for keeping the increased production rate. So, high wall miners may be sometimes adopted in this case. So, these are the different methods of high wall mining, and we will design the high wall miner in the next class. Thank you.